This video will contain spoilers on El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. By extension, there will also be spoilers pertaining to Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. So if you aren't caught up on all of Better Call Saul, all of Breaking Bad, and the new Netflix movie El Camino, you probably shouldn't watch this video. Please be warned, the spoilers are about to begin.
Jesse!
The winner takes it all! That's you! The loser standing
Yes! Let's go, let's go!
The cigarette. What? The ricin cigarette! You had him steal it off of me! And all for that asshole Mr. Waits!
building me a home, thinking I'd be strong there.
Let's cook.
The gods may throw the dice, their minds as cold as ice. And someone way down here loses someone dear.
But we gotta talk ground rules. If you try to, escape, I'm gonna have to visit the little boy.
Hey, remember, you're still a kid.
I was in your arms, thinking I belonged there.
This is Alaska. This is Alaska.
And someone way down here loses someone dear. The winner takes it all.
El Camino basically picks up right where Breaking Bad left off. Jesse evades law enforcement and immediately heads to Skinny Pete's. Pinkman regroups as he is being showcased as a person of interest, and fortunately for Pinkman, the loyalty he consistently showed his friends pays huge dividends in his desperate moment of need.
As in starting a new lab. A lab that you'll run. A cook all of your own. Why not? You deserve it.
I appreciate what you're saying and all, but with Combo gone and Badger laying low out in Cali,
Nothing has changed for me. I just want to get my money and get out. You're gonna jump ship now?
this game we playing, we don't got the street cred to survive it.
And work with me, and you can make 10 times, 20 times as much.
Well, goodbye. All right, we'll make it.
Sorry, Jesse. I'm out.
I'm done.
No, you're not. You're not done. You're not leaving. Because if you leave, you get nothing. You understand me? Nothing!
Your share from selling that batch. That's why I'm here.
Yo, kick in, bitch.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, I didn't smoke at all.
Yo, Skinny. Why are you doing all this?
Dude, you're my hero and shit.
The striking thing about Pete and Badger guiding Jesse into the next stage of his journey is the fact that Skinny Pete was the one who exhibited a Pinkman-like resourcefulness under pressure. Skinny Pete was the one who had the master plan. In fact, I think Pete redeemed himself after previously leading Jesse into danger with Tuco by expertly guiding him out of danger here. If Jesse is the student who was mentored by Walter White, then similarly, Skinny Pete was the student who was mentored by Jesse Pinkman. In a related light, Jesse was consistently loyal towards his friends, whereas Walter was often disloyal with Jesse. Pinkman was merely a means to an end for Walter, but Pinkman's relationship with Pete was more genuine. There was mutual respect and honesty between Jesse and Skinny that never truly existed between Pinkman and Walt. I believe that these related dynamics between Walter and Pinkman, as compared to Pinkman and Skinny Pete, I think these are suggestive that Pinkman ultimately found his redemption.
No! No!
Shit happens, huh? We got history. And then, you know, we take care of the job after that. Let's cook.
Just kill me now and get it over with, because there's no way I'm doing one more cook for you psycho.
Just so you know, this isn't personal. But we gotta talk ground rules. If you try to, you know, escape, I'm gonna have to visit the little boy. I'm gonna do a better job of keeping you clean from now on, okay? Promise.
Todd. Oh, shit.
Okay, please don't, you know, make me feel worse than I already do. I wonder what the heck she was looking up. She barely spoke any English. Damn, from Mexico, maybe? I don't know.
I'm feeling kinda lonely too, if you don't mind. Can I sit down here beside you?
You wanna say a few words? What kind of pizza do you like, Jesse? Jesse, what kind of pizza?
I say these things cause I'd like to know if you're as lonely as I am.
Pepperoni. Pepperoni, sure. Classic. I like that too.
The flashbacks and moments involving Todd were another piece of evidence that Pinkman found redemption. Todd threatened Jesse with the life of Brock, so this flashback obviously took place after Andrea had been killed. Even with that threat, given all of the torment suffered by Pinkman, he amazingly never sought to attack Todd or to test his luck on outrunning Todd. It wasn't until Pinkman saw the gun that he even considered his opening and the potential opportunity for escape that it provided. Incidentally, Todd said an awful lot of funny stuff. He was so lazy that not only did he trust Pinkman with replacing the M volume, but he was too lazy to dig, he was too lazy to grab his pack of smokes, and he was even so lazy that he inexplicably tried to pass the few kind words moment on to Pinkman.
You wanna say a few words?
But perhaps Pinkman's motivation not to shoot Todd had less to do with Brock and more to do with the ghost of Gail.
It's gonna have to be you.
What? No way, man.
I've about a 20-minute lead. They've got me at the laundry and they're going to kill me.
Jesse, do it now! Do it, bitch!
You don't have to do this.
I'll take that, Jesse. Jesse, I'll take that.
Give up, Pinkman. It's your only chance.
Either way, the fact that escape never seemed to cross Pinkman's mind at any point on Todd's field trip, this indicates he was being motivated by fear that such actions of self-preservation would place Brock in harm's way. Pinkman also failed to go all in when he was confronted by what he believed were two police officers. Pinkman was unable to call their bluff. He thought they were cops, he soon realized he had been had, and he immediately pieces the mini puzzle together. Later on with Ed, Pinkman tries to call Ed's bluff, thinking he had pieced the mini puzzle together, only Ed wasn't bluffing, and Pinkman took off and ran. Something, again, he didn't do on his field trip with Todd. Does the fact that Pinkman was unable to call the bluff of the false officers, and the fact that he miscalled a bluff on Ed, are these suggesting that Jesse lost his criminal edge? Incidentally, my personal favorite moments from the movie were the parts involving Ed and Pinkman. If there is one character from the Breaking Bad universe whose backstory most fascinates me, it's definitely that of Ed.
For a substantial fee, and I do mean substantial, you and your loved ones can vanish, untraceable. I mean, he sets you up with a whole new life.
Hoover Max.
Pressure max, max pressure, Hoover, maybe it's a Pro Max. Got like a filter.
I need a new dust filter for my Hoover Max Extract Pressure Pro Model 60. Can you help me with that?
Hoover products are right over there on the wall behind you.
Look, I don't remember the exact password. All right, but it was a vacuum thing.
It's an actual store.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I figured vacuum cleaner repair was a term of art.
Now please leave.
You are going to jack me up over a measly 1,800.
From where I sit, you made your own luck, as did your former partner, as did your lawyer.
If I'm lucky, a month from now, best case scenario, I'm managing a Cinnabon in Omaha.
Mr. Lambert, welcome to New Hampshire.
Look, like I said, my word is my bond.
Your word is your bond?
It is.
I'll get you your money. This is Alaska.
This is Alaska.
Pinkman's criminal experience points may not have served him especially well in the bluffing realm, although in fairness, it should be noted that Pinkman was able to call the important bluff when it counted with Neil. But where his experience points paid off most was Pinkman had a plan and he was prepared. Skinny Pete got him started in the right direction on his journey, and then Pinkman had a goal: find Todd's money and get out of Dodge. Neil and his pal diminished Pinkman's would-be return on his investment, but Pinkman was still able to sweet-talk his way into a third of Todd's money, where Pinkman landed a nice counter-bluff. After Pinkman was subsequently denied Ed's services due to lack of funds, he turned his attention towards his parents, where he once again outplayed them, much like he had when he scammed them out of the house.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Mom. Jake. Got new patio furniture.
We are not doing this again. No. We said we'd lay down the law. We lay down the law. Well, that's not going to fly this time.
How many chances have we given you?
We are not going to have this in our house. We need you to leave.
Wait, what? You're kicking me out of my own house?
It's your Aunt Ginny's house.
And she gave it to me.
She never gave it to you, Jesse.
For your sake, for everybody's sake. Son, turn yourself in.
Your parents have always been the property owners.
I don't know. I just thought some allowance was in order once I heard about the meth lab. The one that used to be in the basement.
I heard you saying that I should turn myself in.
Yes, it's the right thing to do.
I looked over your signed disclosure statements, and I don't see any mention of a meth lab.
Quit running and get some help.
No one is trying to hurt you, son. Better you come forward on your own. It'll be safer for you, better all around.
The new owners are expected at any moment. Where do you think you're going?
Inside. Bought the place.
We're on our way.
Hey, and probably too late to say this.
I don't know if it'll mean much to you. But you did your best.
And whatever happened with me, it's on me.
Pinkman knew his parents were being watched, and he knew exactly how they were playing things in regards to him. This ultimately led him, seemingly in a roundabout way, to his final showdown with Neil. But what's striking to me about the scene between Jesse and his parents is that I believe he was really embracing the words spoken to him by Ed from earlier.
From where I sit, you made your own luck, as did your former partner, as did your lawyer.
I think Jesse came to terms with the fact that his problems were of his own making, and that any resentment he had towards his parents, I don't think he still blamed them. And if he did on some level, it seems he had at least come to peace with what had happened and better understood how his own choices led him to his predicament. This is somewhat ironic, as he apparently embraces this idea that his problems were of his own making, just as he's deceiving his parents in a final effort to rob them. Ultimately, Jesse steals 2 weapons, and this leads to his final showdown with Neil, where Jesse emerges victorious and then pays his past and current debt for Ed's services. So did Jesse Pinkman ultimately find redemption?
You follow me? Layered, like nachos, exponential growth. Now that's success.
Your imbecility being what it is, I should have known to say, Jesse, don't leave the keys in the ignition the entire 2 days.
I wanted to leave them on the counter!
Jesse. Your body is running dangerously low on electrolytes.
Gotta eat, gotta hydrate, get those electrolytes you were talking about, your sodium, you know, all that shit. Yeah.
Your family is gonna get every dime they got coming to them, Mr. White. No matter how long it takes. I'm done.
No, you're not. You're not done. You're not leaving. Because if you leave, you get nothing. You understand me? Nothing! You know what? Forget it. I don't have a larger point. I'm just making conversation. If you believe that there's a hell, I don't know if you're into that, but we're already pretty much going there, right?
Maybe Walt is right and Pinkman is damned. Perhaps Pinkman is irredeemable, and that it takes more than a big heart where actions speak louder than words and good intentions. As Ed said, Jesse made his own luck, and maybe that was part of the greater point in El Camino. Pinkman went into his partnership with Walter White as a shady scumbag character, whereas Walter White was more of the upstanding citizen type. So in a very real sense, while Walter White came out of their partnership for the worse, that even if his intention was helping his family, in reality he hurt them. In fact, he ruined his family. Walter was the real scumbag in the end, but Pinkman came out of that partnership for the better. He may not have transformed into the upstanding citizen Walter was once perceived as, but Pinkman's path ultimately led him away from the life, as Mike had encouraged earlier, and I think this was always the key to Pinkman's redemption. I enjoyed El Camino for what it was, and I've noticed that one of the biggest complaints about it is that it wasn't necessary. In a sense, I understand that view. I get it. After all, Pinkman had a proper ending in Breaking Bad where he survived. Jesse persevered through many hardships, many of which were the result of his own bad decisions. But what I liked most about this Jesse epilogue, which in a lot of ways remind me of the Scouring of the Shire, but what I liked about it most is that unlike the ending of Breaking Bad, Jesse was finally able to escape the lifestyle, and he did so on his own terms. It wasn't merely the fact that Pinkman survived, but the fact that he managed to walk away, alive and living the life of a free man. Pinkman wasn't being manipulated by various parties during this particular journey. This was Jesse Pinkman in his purest form. But will Pinkman, or shall I call him Mr. Driscoll, will Mr. Driscoll live the rest of his days in a state of miserable paranoia and self-loathing? The very life we see now in the brief glimpses we've seen of Gene in Better Call Saul. When I first heard about this movie and the fact that Better Call Saul wouldn't be returning until 2020, I had assumed, incorrectly as it turns out, that this movie would somehow directly tie in with the plight of Gene from Better Call Saul. I have no idea if Gene and Mr. Driscoll will ever cross paths again. In fact, ever since Better Call Saul first aired, I have always been half expecting that someday Pinkman would randomly show up at Gene's Cinnabon. Whether or not that actually ever happens remains to be seen. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed El Camino. It may not have been on the same level as Breaking Bad on the whole, but in a lot of ways it felt like 3 new lost episodes that strongly imply that Pinkman was ultimately redeemed. But who knows? Pinkman might get bored after a month in Alaska and start a whole new cooking operation any day now. But regardless of whether we ever see Mr. Driscoll again, I sure do hope we get a great deal more of Gene's story when Better Call Saul returns. So what did you think of El Camino? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed, and have a wonderful night.
There's holmium and helium and hafnium and erbium and phosphorus and francium and fluorine and terbium and manganese and mercury, molybdenum, magnesium, dysprosium and scandium and cerium and cesium.
Someone way down here loses someone dear. The winner takes it all.
From where I sit, you made your own luck, as did your former partner.
May the road rise up to meet your wheels.